Hello, I'm Damla Aktuman. Welcome to my GOCCİAS knitting channel. In this video, we'll be knitting a unisex beanie together. However, I want to knit this beanie for my husband. I'll give the measurements accordingly, but I'll also try to explain how you can adjust the size. First of all, I want to thank Craft Maxitor once again. We previously worked with yarn arts and this denim, and I loved it. So I thought, let's make a beanie with it too. I'm knitting Andy's denim with a 5mm crochet hook. So let's start knitting this very easy and practical beanie. Thus, before the video, I want to mention the join button. By clicking the join button, you can choose one of the options and support me. Lots of love and thanks to all my supporters. Before we start knitting, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I want to emphasize that your likes and comments are very important for the continuation of my channel. You make me happy if you don't hesitate to share them. I want to tell you a little bit about the composition of my yarn. I'll show you right away. It's 80% acrylic and 20% wool, 150 grams, is 240 meters. It's a thick yarn. I want to mention that too. And I'll be crocheting with a 5mm hook. I'll open the band and start. We begin by making a chain. As I said, I'm crocheting this for my husband, so I'm making the size a little larger. Let me tell you, I'll make a chain of about 332 centimeters. Because this chain will gather a bit when I stop the top part, which is actually what I need. It should stay at 29 centimeters, so it's a bit large. I'll start because it will gather according to the technique of the crochet. I'm making my chains without tightening my hand too much. I won't give the number of chains. I'll just make sure this chain is 3,132 centimeters. After crocheting about 30 centimeters, I make another 3 chains. And here I insert the hook into the 4th stitch and crochet a double crochet. I'm crocheting another double crochet into the one right next to it. So I'm crocheting a double crochet into each of the chains we've made. After completing the first row with double crochets, I immediately chain 3 and turn the piece like this. And look, from now on, the process I'll be doing in every row is what you see above. Now, I'm separating these 3, of course. Look, the 3 coming from the top of this leg. The leg next to it, the one on top of that. Look, I'm crocheting into the V right above it. I'm crocheting into the outer part of the V, that is this one. I could always crochet by crocheting into the outer one. Now look, again. I'll continue crocheting into the outer part of the V until the end of the row. I'm getting close to the end. I wanted to finish together. I'm always crocheting into the insides. Now here, I crocheted into the one inside the chain at the top of the 3 chains, and here I'm rising again with the 3 chains and turning. After turning, I continue by crocheting into the outer leg of the V, the one right next to it, not the chain. I'm extending, no gosh. So this is the length of our hat, and this will be the width here you go. You can measure the width according to the head circumference of the person you're making it for. Since I'm making it for my husband, I estimate that something between 38 and 40 centimeters would be suitable. Of course, when I finish knitting and get to that part, I'll tell you exactly what measurement I used. Let's continue knitting. Let me show you this piece. I knitted it to 43 centimeters. So if you hold it against your head circumference and proceed, this part is very easy to knit, but I'll knit one more row. While knitting the last row, I'll be joining this side. That's why I came here to knit the last row with you. This is 43 centimeters, but I have to say this. Look, it stretches out quite a bit. It stretches out to almost 5D foot and 5D 153 centimeters for me, and it was a perfect fit for my husband's head. You can measure as you go. If you are knitting this for a lady, then instead of stopping at 43 centimeters, you should stop at 37 centimeters. It's a yarn that stretches like that, but the best way to measure is always to experiment. I want to mention that too. For a child, it's necessary to knit it as short and small as possible. Now, how do I do the joining? Now, knit the last row. By the way, let me tell you how many rows I knitted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 rows. I will join at 27 for this. I immediately made 3 chains. I'm coming off the hook. But let's turn from here, because we'll be knitting from the wrong side. I turned. Look, right here on the opposite side, I'll find the first leg and insert the hook into its base. I'll find the first stitch, insert the hook into its base, and join it like this. You can also sew here if you want. You can proceed by sewing. I find this easier. I pulled it out right away. Then I came to the top of the second treble stitch. Here, I'm not inserting the hook into it anymore. Oh, sorry, I'll insert it into it again. Let's not mess up the pattern. Okay. I'm finding the second one right behind, look. Now look, I inserted the hook into the first one. I'm finding the second one too. I'm inserting the hook into its base and pulling the loop through. Then I come here, I'm knitting the third treble stitch. Here I'm inserting the hook into the base of the third one again and pulling the loop through. Let's join all the treble stitches together, like this again. I inserted the hook inside. I knitted my double treble stitch. I pulled the loop from the base of the treble stitch that's directly opposite. Let's continue to the end. I continued joining all the stitches to the end. Look like this from the side. Now I've come here. There are only 2 left. I wanted to do the last 2 together. So right here, I'm inserting the hook into the inner V again. I'm pulling it out of my hook and passing it through the opposite treble stitch. And after crocheting the last leg and passing this treble stitch through the last part, I'm going to lock it here and 2. Before locking it, look, I've locked it. I'm taking a long piece of yarn. I'm stretching it out a bit. Now I'll show you how to use it. You can do this more easily with a thinner hook. Let me see. I should have a thinner hook on hand. Yes. I'm taking Then our hook from here. I'll use a 3mm hook. Look, I cut this off, right? Look where. I'll pass this yarn through at certain intervals. Look, I started here. I'm skipping this raised part. I'm pulling the loop out from the inward part. Then I'm skipping this raised part again and pulling it out from here. I'm skipping this again. I'm taking it out from here. I'm skipping this. I'm taking it out from here. Look, I'm skipping this puffy part and continuing by taking it out from the next one all the way to the end. I've progressed to this point. Now look, after passing it through here one last time, I've progressed to where I started. Now look, I'm gathering the top here. I'm gathering it nicely. Then I'll continue here with a thin crochet hook. I'll lock it nicely. You can even make a tiny stitch here. You can sew a pom-pom here. You can apply many things. There are very nice ready-made pom-poms when you make it for a child or a woman. You can knit it yourself. Fur pom-poms look very nice. I wanted to mention that too. I'm locking it here. I'm going to reinforce it even more now. I wanted to show you that. Afterwards, I'll immediately turn my hat inside out. When I turn it inside out and fold, tip like this, I'm finished. Look, it's very easy. We've knitted a unisex hat together that you can knit in 2-3 hours and put on. I hope you liked it too. You can knit gifts for your loved ones right before the new year. Let's weigh this too. Let's see how many grams it is. How much yarn did we use? Let's find out right away. I wanted to show you that too. Let me adjust the grams. Yes. How many grams do we use? I'll tell you that now. In total, I had 150 grams of yarn. Exactly 100 grams used. Let me tell you that too. Exactly 100 grams. About 50 grams of it stayed here. It was left over. Let me show you. Again, I would like to thank craftmaxi.tr for giving me the opportunity to experience yarn art's quality. I hope this video was understandable and practical for you. If you liked it, as always, I would like to ask for a heart emoji. Thank you very much to everyone who watched this far. See you in the next videos. Goodbye, friends.